Good morning, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, good day, wherever you find yourself on this big, beautiful, and messy planet. I hope you find it in goodness. I am Carol C. Miller, your positivity life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you with another episode of Embrace Your Life Chats. So I am in Chicago. It is a beautiful fall day here, 11:30 Central Time, Chicago time. Come into comments and let me know where you're joining me from and what's going on in your part of the world. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I did. I spent my weekend with family, so I was around a 1-year old, a 4-year old, and 7-year old all weekend. Talk about energy. It was a lot of fun to visit with them, though. So, if you're new to this conversation or new to me, I like to go over a couple of things to remind people of before we get started on today's topic. And one is I'm not a big believer in absolutes as far as always or never, right or wrong, good or bad. There's usually a lot going on in the gray areas of all of those statements. And there are 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to know what is always right or always wrong or never wrong for 7 billion people. So I work on the majority of the time. So my scale is 0 to 100, 0 being always negative, always unkind, 100 being always positive and always kind. I don't know anybody who is at the 0 or the 100. The work that I do for myself and with my coaching clients is to stay within the 80 to 100 range, or even better yet, the 90 to 100 range. That means fear visits me, frustration visits me, anger visits me, doubt, worry, all of those types of less than feelings visit me. But because of my daily practices, I don't let them take over and run my day. I let feel what I need to feel, and then I move forward to feeling a little bit better. And the second thing I like to remind people is I'm a coach. I love coaching. It's one of my favorite things to do is to help inspire and empower people to live the life of their dreams, whatever that looks like. I am not a counselor or a therapist. And sometimes we just need that type of attention to move through hard things or challenging experiences. And there's nothing wrong with counseling or therapy, it's all there to support you. And I want you to realize you are worthy of living your best life. So, whether it's a coach, a counselor, a therapist, a clergy member, a dear friend, whoever it is that you entrust with your best life, I highly encourage you to seek that out because you're worthy of it. So again, welcome. I'm going to come into comments really quick to say hello to everybody, and then I'm going to step out of comments for a bit because otherwise I will lose my train of thought on what I wanted to discuss today, and then we'll go back into comments in case you have any questions. So, hi, Sadiq. Nice to see you here. I hope. Let me know where you're joining us from. And so today's topic is when I'm here solo. So I'm here Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 11:30 Chicago time. Often I'm here solo. Sometimes I have one guest, and sometimes I have a panel of guests, which will be tomorrow. Twice a month, I have a group of people and we discuss different topics. But today, when I'm here solo, I generally try to pick a word to work from, go over the definition, come up with an affirmation around it, and then some tips on how to incorporate that word into living your best life through the week, through the month, through the year, if it's something that fits you and works for you. Again, I'm not a always or never. I may say something that doesn't resonate with you, and that's okay. Let it go. If it does resonate, or if you're just curious about it and you're willing to give it a try, I encourage you to do so. But you need to decide what's best for you and what's going to work best for you. Trying different things is not a bad thing to do, but if it's something that truly does not resonate with you, I would just say let it go and move forward to something else. I am by no means a coach for everyone. Hopefully I'm a coach for many people, but certainly there are going to be people who don't resonate with my work, and that is okay as well. So if you're one of them, I wish you all the best. If you're not, welcome and enjoy today's conversation, and I hope you join me for Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays moving forward. But today's word is sustain. And so the definition of sustain is to give support or relief to supply with sustenance, to nourish. So it's about sustaining Your positive mindset is what we're going to be talking about today. And when I mean sustain your positive mindset, just as I said, I am not a 0 to 100 or a person who believes you always have a positive mindset. I don't always have a positive mindset. Because of my daily practices, my mindset is positive the majority of the time, but it's not always positive. And I don't know anybody who is always positive. But it's about being gentle with yourself when you do visit the negative, the harder emotions that we all have, because that's part of being human. So again, the definition: to give support or relief, to supply with sustenance, to nourish. The affirmation, and if you're not familiar with affirmations, it's just a statement. Generally speaking, when you hear people talk about affirmations, to start using affirmations, they really mean to start using positive affirmations. If I were to say I'm not very smart, that I'm affirming. It's a statement that I'm making. So it is an affirmative statement, but it's not a positive one. So when we're talking about affirmations, it's really more in the positive realm. And what they do is they help replace all those negative self talks that we've had in our heads over the years, or things we've learned from family or teachers, or things as young children where we did not have the equipment to see it in a different way. We just took in those words as truth. And so we're using affirmations to rebuild a powerful, positive self talk in our heads. Now, if you were to say, I am very smart, and you immediately say to yourself, no, I'm not. I just really did bad on XYZ 2 hours ago. Even though I am very smart as a positive affirmation, it's a positive statement. If you're immediately negating it, it's not positive for you. So then I would say, I'm in the process of feeling very smart, or change it up completely to something that's believable, but it's also, it could be a stretch from where you are right now, but you're not immediately negating what that statement is, because you want to have that start imprinted in your brain, that when you're going through a challenging time, rather than immediately going in your head, I'm stupid, you're going to have a new process to say, I am in the process of feeling smart. So that's the difference on a positive statement. They can be positive and still not work for you. So you need to really feel into what it's saying. So today's affirmation is, I choose compassion and kindness for myself and others. So if we're working on a positive mindset, and we go into those harder feelings of negative judgment, of frustration, or of anger of ourselves or others, that's when we're leaving our positive mindset and going into those harder, heavier energies. It's not right, it's not wrong. It's just where we are. And when we're aware of it, when we catch ourselves with those negative thoughts, when we catch ourselves with the negative judgments and all those things, that's when we can make the change into feel what you need to feel, but then move forward to feeling a little bit better. So if you catch yourself in focusing on what you don't want in your life, or focusing on what you don't want in the world, go into this affirmation: I choose compassion and kindness for myself and others. And again, especially if you're new to me, by being positive and refocusing and reframing, it's not about ignoring your challenges or the challenges in the world, but it is about bringing compassion, kindness, and peace and love to those situations. Often, when we're focused on what we don't want, we go into blame, shame, and complain. There's really very few solutions in blame, shame, and complain. It's feeding the energy of what you don't want rather than feeding the energy of what you do want. So it's feel what you need to feel. Give it as much time to feel that sadness, to feel that frustration, to feel the anger. Only you will know how long it takes for you to process that and move forward. Just don't spew your anger and frustration outward. Feel a way to deal with it internally. Maybe it's writing it down, journaling it. Maybe it's writing a letter to the person that you're really mad at. Shredding it does not mean you have to send it to get that feeling out of your body. You can write it down, you can talk it out to somebody without sharing it and spewing it onto somebody else. So it's about how you can feel better in your own self. And the more you feel better about you, the more you feel self love, the more you feel loved, the easier it is to find compassion for others, to find love and kindness for others as well. So the affirmation: I choose compassion and kindness for myself and others. So, having a positive attitude, again, you're not going to be positive all the time, and especially if you're just starting this practice. I have been practicing positivity and kindness and love and compassion for many years now, and I'm not in that space 24/7. Um, Daily negative thoughts will visit me. We have over 6,000 thoughts a day because I consciously choose to be aware of how I'm feeling, then I can catch it even quicker. When we go on autopilot and just let the day run us rather than us run the day, we're not in charge. We're not able to make those shifts. But when we're aware of things, when we're aware that we feel really good, or we're aware that we don't feel really good, that's when we're able to make a choice in choosing to feel a little bit better. It's not about beating ourselves up because we were just angry at somebody 20 minutes ago, or most likely angry at ourselves for 20 minutes ago. It's about being aware of how we feel. If it doesn't feel good, taking steps to feel a little bit better. So, the more you're in a positive state of mind, the easier it's going to be to get through the challenging times of our lives and deal with those things in a healthier way. I would love to tell you being positive means rainbows, unicorns, and you're never going to have a challenge again in your life, but I don't really think that that's living. All of those emotions that we have, the heaviness, the fear, the doubt, they're not wrong. It's just how much attention do you want to give them? So here are some tips on um, moving forward to keep that positive mindset the majority of the time. So the 80 to 90%, the 70%, even if you're at 51%, you're still the majority of time more positive than you are negative. When you beat yourself up for being negative, when you beat others up for being negative, you're feeding that energy. You are giving it the place to expand and grow. When you become aware of it, then you can make those choices to change from there and give that the energy to grow. This is what I do want. I don't want to be angry right now. What do I want? I want to be peaceful. I want to be kind. I want to be compassionate. And compassion doesn't mean you agree with the other person. Compassion may be somebody's done something really awful, but you can have compassion because you know they have a backstory that brought them to that place. Compassion isn't a get out of jail free card. It's about knowing that there's something behind the action that created that experience. There's still consequences, there's positive consequences, and there's negative consequences in the world. So it's whatever you're wanting to focus on for yourself. So, one thing to do is a gratitude journal. And I would encourage you to do that. I honestly am not a big journaler, I think, because I write all the time. So, I don't journal a lot and I keep thinking I should. But for whatever reason, it is not my go to. I do think about gratitude a lot, I do focus on gratitude daily. But if you write it down, it'll be really helpful, especially when you're going through a harder day, that you can look back on your gratitude journal. So, whether you do it in the morning, sometime during the day or in the evening, write down like three things daily that went well for you in that day, went well in your family, something that you appreciated about the day. So that puts you in that state of mind of focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want. So I would encourage you to do that and to start your morning off in a positive way. Now, I am not a morning person as far as get up and I'm bright and cheery. I'm not an angry person in the morning either, but my better time of day probably starts around 9 o'clock. But I do get up early because of work and everything like that. But like I start my day, I have morning practices that I do. I often fairly quickly put on happy music to get my day started. So whatever makes you smile, whatever brings a little happiness to you, do that first thing in the morning as you get ready for work or get ready for your day, to start thinking about what you want in your day rather than what you don't want. So play some happy music. Maybe that's the time for you to do your gratitude journal, a morning practice, whether you meditate or something like that. But start your day in a positive state of mind. And if you've gone to bed thinking about your gratitude and what you're happy about in your life, most likely you're going to carry that through your night's sleep too. So it's going to be easier to start your day off with that good feeling. Another tip is humor. Like sometimes we take ourselves so very seriously. So when you're able to see the humor in the challenge or the humor in the day, like something funny. Now, humor for me is not teasing other people, picking on other people. It might be humorous about myself. And then if the other people are laughing about it, but to pick on other people, sarcasm to me does not work. I'm going to talk about sarcasm one of these days because I think it's a good topic to bring up as well. But find some things throughout your day to smile about, to laugh about, and to not take everything so seriously. If it's a very serious situation you're going through, obviously there's a need for the seriousness, but you can probably still find some ways to make it just a little lighter to help you move through it a little easier. And then take a break. If you catch yourself really in that downward spiral, when you're aware of it, is when you're going to catch it quicker. So maybe it's just to go take a really quick walk. Maybe it's to go get a drink. Maybe it's to take a nap. Maybe it's to put good music on, but do something to shift your energy from thinking about the don't want. And I promise you, when the don't want is right in front of you, it's really hard to shift your focus into what you do want. But it's possible, and it's more possible as you practice it daily. So if a don't want is right in front of you, don't beat yourself up for focusing on it, but start being aware of it so you can shift into feeling what you do want to feel like rather than what you don't want to. And another one that's very helpful for me is I love to have things to look forward to. So I'll like plan some kind of experience that I want to do. It could be something big like a trip, it could be something small that I'm planning. But knowing that in 3 days this is going to happen, that helps me when I'm having a moment of how do I get through this next hour for whatever reason. So when I have things to look forward to, that helps as well. So I'm going to go over it and then I'm going to come into comments. And again, if you have anything you would like me to discuss here that will bring a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to your life, put it in comments and I'll add that into future topics as well. But today we're talking about sustain, and that's how to sustain and keep our positive mindset the majority of the time. It's interesting to me when I come in, I look at the comments daily, a couple times a day. I try to come in and look at comments on the memes that I share and create. And often there'll be somebody who will be like, that doesn't work because they go into it being 100% of the time. And for me, with positive focus, I can't think of anything that I'm going to tell you is 100% of the time. I will say there's some things like not beating yourself up that I would put as close to 100% as I can. But there may be people who need to have that beat up moment of themselves to move forward. That doesn't work for me. I don't think it works for the majority of people, but it might work for some people that they really need to be hard on themselves and then they can move forward. So anything with positive focus, and anything's kind of an absolute too, but no, it's the majority of the time that I'm working with for myself and with positive focus and with my clients. So the word is sustain. The definition to give support or relief to supply with sustenance, and to nourish. Our affirmation today, and you can create your own. It needs to be believable to you. It can be a stretch from where you are right now, but you still need to believe that it can be or is true, is I choose compassion and kindness for myself and others. That affirmation can still work. Let's say in 3 hours from now, you're unkind to yourself or you're unkind to someone else. You can still go back into this affirmation because you're choosing it. It's a new choice. And the more you practice choosing what you want, the easier it's going to be to focus on that. The don't wants are still going to pop up from time to time, but the more you practice, the less that they will come in and the less that you will give them the running and the rule of your day because you've practiced it for so long to focus on what you do want rather than what you don't want. When things are going well in your life, focusing on what you want is pretty easy. The work comes in when you're having those challenging moments. And I don't know of anybody in this world, from people who live on the streets to people who are billionaires, who have not had challenging moments in their life. We do not have to judge somebody's pain from somebody else's pain, somebody else's struggles. It's your own personal experience on what you're going through and how you want to move forward through it. So the affirmation, I choose compassion and kindness for myself and others. The tips, gratitude journal. And that's one of the things that I do with my coaching clients is, I mean, we're often talking about what they're dreaming about and what they're creating. But as always, or I shouldn't say always, but the majority of times, we have those stumbling blocks. And if somebody comes into a session and they're frustrated with a boss or they're frustrated with a family member or whatever that is keeping them out of their own inner peace, I ask them to tell me three things that they are grateful for about that person or that experience that has them out of peace. And I would say probably 90%, maybe even 95% of the time, they can give me three things because they know it's a moment of frustration, not forever frustration. But if they're in a really heated moment where that person or that experience has them completely under control and they can't think of something that they're grateful for in that experience or with that person, then it's a reminder that the majority of their experiences and the majority of the people in their lives aren't like that. So you can go into feeling a little bit better knowing this one person, this one experience is not the norm in my world. Yes, they're driving me crazy right now, but that's not the norm. So it's going back into shifting into what you do want. And when I ask those three questions, it really does de escalate the energy of the conversation because it puts them in a state of gratitude. And now we can focus on solutions rather than blame, shame, and complain about the experience. And I promise you, I can still I'm not much of a shamer because I know words are powerful, but I can get into blame and complain mode on occasion, and it doesn't feel good to me. So then I go into gratitude, and then I can get into a solutions base. Blame, shame, and complain are not solutions based. But if you go into focusing on what you do want rather than what you don't want, then you're going to be able to step into solutions more so. Start your morning off with something positive and whatever that is to you, whether it's playing good music, whether it's getting up a little bit earlier so you can enjoy a cup of coffee a little longer and you're not just downing it to head out for the day. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's reading something inspirational or listening to something inspirational, a podcast. But do something first thing in the morning that's going to set the tone for your day and to set it in a place of joy, happiness, positivity, something that you're wanting to experience. Humor. They say laughter is the best medicine. It's certainly a good source of joy and happiness. And when you can find a little humor, even in the hard parts of your life, it's just going to help you get through it a little bit easier. And then to take a break. Remember, when you're catching yourself, awareness is so important that when you're catching, you're going into the cycle of focusing on what you don't want rather than focusing on what you do want. Take a break. Maybe walk away from your computer or whatever you're doing for that time frame. Take a walk, maybe get a nap, put some good music on, journal something that you need to put in. Last week I don't remember what the topic was, but it was about annoying things as far as, or it was about fear and how to release it. And so if you're getting into a space and you're sitting here and all of a sudden the fearful thought of you're not good enough comes up, write it down on a piece of paper and say, I will deal with you later. And then give yourself that time daily or weekly that you actually focus on those don't want moments because they want to be heard, they want to be expressed, and they want to be recognized, and then you can let them go a little easier too. So it's really for me, the importance is to not beat yourself up when you're doing the don't wants in your life because it's a practice and I've been practicing for a long time and I still do. The thoughts of don't wants come up into my daily life. Because of the work I do, I catch them much quicker and I turn them around much quicker. Depending on what the topic is, sometimes it's a little harder to let go of because it's a bigger challenge than something small, but I'm aware that I have the power to shift into feeling a little bit better at any given moment of the day. And so that is what I have for you. The last one is to have something to look forward to. I'm traveling next week. I will still be live from where I'm going, but I'm going to go visit a family member in North Carolina. And hopefully the leaves are changing colors then. That's one of the reasons I'm going this time of year is to see the fall foliage change. And so I'm looking forward to that as well. So that's something that I look at when I'm going through something of not wants. I focus on what I do want. And what I do want is to travel more. So I'm excited about my upcoming trip. So those are the topic for today is to sustain your energy into feeling a little bit better, sustain your energy to feel a little bit kinder towards yourself and others. The more you feed yourself those kinds of thoughts, the easier it is to find it in others as well. Um, I have a Facebook user here that, of course, I cannot see because you're probably part of the Embrace Your Life community. Hello, Carol. Gray day here. Oh, I know it is. It's Sylvia. Where it's getting dark now as it's getting on to 6 p.m. I think it gets dark here in Chicago around 6:30 as well. Listening to funny programs on the radio or podcasts are very helpful in raising my vibration. Excellent. Kathy says, I'm over it. I'm not sure, Kathy, what part of the over it, but you were laughing about it. So that is good. And I don't think I'm seeing any other comments or questions. So we will end this broadcast for today. Again, if you have comments of what you would like to see me talk about for future, please put them in the comments and we'll handle it from there. If you go back to Thursday's live, which was with Shauna Fisher on animal communication, there's an opportunity to be in a drawing that will be picked tomorrow morning to win a free animal power reading with her. And what that is she will connect into, if you've ever heard of animal totems, as far as like maybe you see like wolves come into your dreams, or you see a lot of hawks or deers or something like that, she'll be able to do a little connection with you to find out what that meaning is for you personally, and it'll be a free reading. She's amazing. I've not done a power card reading with her before, but she's done animal communications here the second Thursday of the month for quite a while now, and she's kind and talented both. So she will also be back tomorrow because tomorrow is my panel group, and we're going to be having a panel on discussing how to get through challenging times. So I think there's 6 or 7 people, and there's a couple of newbies who have not joined the panel discussion before. They have been on as a just a one-on-one conversation before, but this is their first time on the group panel. So tomorrow we'll be talking with the group on how to move through hard times. Thursday I'll be back. I'm not sure what the topic is yet, but it'll be something about how to heighten your celebrations and lessen your sorrows through a positive focus. So go out there and have a wonderful day. Have a day where you're sustaining yourself in goodness, and to know it's okay to not feel good all the time. I don't know anybody who sustains goodness 24/7. So just take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, be kind and gentle to yourself and others. And I will see you back here tomorrow at 11:30 Tuesday morning in Chicago. I don't know what time that is for you. For Sylvia, it's somewhere around 6 o'clock for her. So come on back tomorrow and we will talk then. Until then, remember, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to the world. And most importantly, you matter to you. We'll talk soon. So long for now.